Well, good morning. It is not good morning. I'm sorry. It is good evening. I'm so used to doing morning announcements. I just wanted to say welcome to everyone. Really appreciate your willingness to join us this evening. I just wanted to let you know that this open house is being recorded and will be reposted later this evening. And I have a couple people that are possibly texting me just to make sure there aren't any logistical issues going on out there. So I'm hoping my sound is okay. And I think we will go ahead and just to officially start. And I have a few people that will text me just in case we are having any sort of problem. But again, welcome to all of you. My name is Dan Sebring. Very proud to be the principal at Normandy. I just want to welcome all of you to the 2020-21 school year. So thankful that we are up and running, and so appreciative to all of you for all of your patience and your willingness to really give us feedback and ask good questions and allow me to kind of streamline a little bit of the presentation for this evening. So let's keep going. Joining me this evening will be our school counselor, Mrs. Basil, and our technology coordinator, Mr. Reynolds, just to put a face with all of the wonderful work that's been done these past few weeks and months in the area of technology. And we are just super appreciative of all the behind the scenes efforts of Mr. Reynolds and also Mrs. Basil. And I felt like they were two important people for you to hear from this evening. So let's keep going. In addition to my thank yous to both of them, I also just want to say thank you to our Normandy PTA. Normandy PTA is a very important partnership for us at Normandy. It has been for years and years and years. We cannot thank our Normandy PTA enough. They do so much for us and for your students, and their partnership with us has allowed us to do many creative and important things at Normandy over the years. So thank you, Normandy PTA. Most recently, they gave us a really nice welcome back luncheon. It's usually a luncheon, but they brought in the time travel food truck. So that was very, very exciting and a really nice encouragement to all of the staff at Normandy. So thank you to Normandy PTA. Our Normandy custodians are amazing. Kathy Corona, Ralph Dickey, and Kurt Schuster. Cannot thank them enough for all of their efforts this past summer, and to our district maintenance department. We have a really gifted group of people in this area, and we are thankful for that. Thank you to the Normandy teachers. Many of them were very readily available over the entire summer so that we could continue to work together and make plan after plan after plan to be sure that we were ready to do what we all felt was best for your family and for your child. Thank you also to the Normandy support staff. They do, again, so much. Our secretaries, especially Mrs. Bish and Mrs. Chambers, have been working hard all summer. Thank you to our aides and other support staff. Thank you, parents, again, for all of your patience and your willingness to read all of the emails and try to keep up with everything. We can't thank you enough for being true partners in your child's education. So thank you. And then Normandy students, we cannot wait to see you. Trust me, we are longing for the day when you're all back in the building. So more to come on that. I thought I would just start us with a quick quote here from Dr. Seuss. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. Does the year ahead feel a little bit like a mountain? Yeah, I think it does a little bit. At least it does to me. But I am thoroughly excited that it's almost here. Just a few quick points that I will be talking through prior to Mrs. Basil and Mr. Reynolds. In kindergarten, I have had a pretty thorough set of communications to the kindergarten families. I don't necessarily intend to rehash those on this presentation, but please refer to several previous documents, as well as a 16-minute kindergarten overview of what will be happening this year in kindergarten. And that video is available on the YouTube channel that you were able to use to access this video. So for September 1st through 11th, remember for kindergarten, it is a slow start, and please refer to all previous details. First and second grade classrooms, we intend to start with a full school day from 8:30 in the morning to 2 o'clock. So plan to be present and ready to go on Zoom at 8:30 a.m. on Tuesday, September 1st. Let's talk a little bit about attendance. What does attendance look like when we are in virtual learning? Well, it's very similar to what we would be doing if we were in school. So think of it that way. If your child will not be attending school, and by that I mean they will not be on Zoom, either for a period of time, and that's due to some sort of reason. Maybe you have an appointment, you have another situation. This would be something where you probably would have had your child early dismissed from school. Go ahead and consider that an absence. And then you would just report that to our attendance line, either by calling the phone number you see listed here, or you would email Laura Chambers. She is our new attendance and records secretary. Mrs. Sikeli is now at the high school in the attendance office. So Laura Chambers is your new contact when it comes to attendance questions and concerns. So again, if your child needs to be off of Zoom, or you have an appointment or something like that, I would suggest that whichever of these methods is easier for you. If the phone call is easier, you can just leave a voicemail. That's 24 hours a day. You can also email Laura Chambers. In addition to that, if you're doing email, you may as well go ahead and copy your classroom teacher. I know they will appreciate that. I thought I would talk just briefly about this. Please do not consider this an exhaustive review of this whole situation. We have a series of flowcharts that we use as a school system that we'll be using to help process what may or may not be going on with a family or a staff member or a student. But just know that when it comes to your child, I want to be very clear that we understand every child is different. We see that very, very clearly. And by different, I mean their health baseline can be very, very different. You may even see that if you have multiple children in your home, where one may have allergies and one may not, and one may have spring allergies or summer, or the other one may have fall. So we suggest that you really are in tune with your own child's health baseline. Now, all that said, these symptoms are very important for you to be aware of, so that you can monitor them. And we would ask that you act proactively in these situations, especially when we get back. This is obviously when we get back into in-building mode, that you would become very in tune with your child's health baseline and any symptoms that they may be having. So we're asking you just to pay attention to this list of symptoms. And again, if any of these, for instance, congestion or runny nose, if that's a normal part of your child's kind of health baseline, we would expect you to kind of interpret that, and we would expect you to send them to school if it's just an allergy situation. Okay, hope that's a little bit of clarification. I'm guessing there are many more questions, but I just wanted to make sure I started with that. We are very excited. Tomorrow, finally here, Normandy teachers have been working really hard all week to make sure that all of the students' instructional supplies are ready for pickup. Tomorrow, August 28th, 2020, in the Normandy parking lot. Pull in, you'll pull up to the area that has your teacher's name. In most situations, the teachers will be there helping. But if you need specifics on what time your child's teacher's pickup is, you can either refer back to the emails that have been sent. We just resent another email today to make sure that you had everything you needed. And if you are unable to locate that, please call us at the Normandy main office. Mrs. Bish wants to make sure that I announce this. Just a reminder, school fees are due. You can pay them online. You can use a check or cash, and you can send that into the Normandy office. Just a reminder, it is now $80 this year. Typically it's $50. We have added the $30 COVID fee, just so you're aware of it, but the total fee is $80 for this school year. I thought I would just talk about this a little bit. I think that we all are ready to get onto this new learning adventure. And it's this idea of a traditional classroom as compared to a Zoom room. So think about a traditional classroom versus doing what we're in this e-learning environment. The Zoom room is a really is another way to look at the classroom. And we really are looking at the traditional classroom kind of being extended into the Zoom room. In other words, your child's teacher will be teaching your child live most of the time. And that will be an opportunity for them to engage live with their teacher, and the teacher will engage live with them. Very similar to what would naturally happen in a classroom. It will be a little bit more difficult because each child is dealing with their own variable of their own home versus being at a kind of controlled student desk in a little bit of a controlled area there. So the variables really are what exist in the home. So your classroom teachers will be giving you guidance on how to make this a successful learning experience for your child in their Zoom room at home. So again, but we just look at this as an extension of the child's classroom. We actually have some families that will be opting into Zoom learning all year long, and we are ready to support those families and make sure that they have everything they need to be successful at home, even if we return to in-building learning. So the teacher open houses, you should have all received videos and additional information from your teachers today by email. And please know that on Monday, August 31st, each teacher will be offering you an opportunity to schedule a small group family Zoom session. And we would like the parents to be there and the Normandy student to be there. And there may be 3 or 4 other families in the Zoom call with you, and you'll get to meet the teacher and have some interactions by Zoom, and hopefully have a nice positive start before the students have to log in on Tuesday, September 1st for the first day of school. There's obviously hope that we will be returning to in-building learning for the families that would like that. We really are hoping that this is an option that is available soon. I can only tell you that if we return to, I should say when, let's say when we return to in-building, that we will take the first 2 weeks and go at 50% student capacity. We will not return to all students coming at once. We'll start with some cohorts and smaller groups, and many more details will be sent prior to returning. At this time, I would like to introduce Mrs. Basil, our school counselor. She has been working hard all summer long. I'm sure some of you have even had conversations with her, but Mrs. Basil is as committed and caring as a school counselor can come, and I'm very proud to introduce her to all of you. Mrs. Basil.
All right, thank you and good evening. As a school counselor, I'm going to speak on behalf of myself and all the school counselors in our district. You know, we are committed this year to working with your families and our staff to really support the social emotional needs of all of our students. We are committed to working with our teachers. So we are here to help address the academic concerns that they have rolling into the school year, any behavioral concerns that they may have rolling into the school year, and also working with them and incorporating some mindfulness strategies and sprinkling that throughout their teaching. So if some of you were here the past couple of years, you know that we have incorporated the mindfulness curriculum with success. We still have that available to us. We're very blessed to have that. If you're a first and second grader, you know what I'm talking about with our breathing balls and our listening, our movement. For our kindergartners, you're soon going to learn some of those pieces, and I'm excited for that. We're also here to work with families and address any kind of academic concern that you have for your child, as well as behavioral support in the home, any basic needs that you may have, whether it be financial or food related. And then working individually with our students at their level. So we are here to work individually either through remote learning or in person. We are also trying to plan on some psychoeducational groups that we can offer to target most definitely our anxious types of behaviors. That's our common one that we see, as well as maybe some skills for learning habits. We're walking into a whole different learning environment that requires some new skills that maybe we need to prepare our students for. I'd like to take a moment though to kind of answer maybe some common questions that I've come across from a lot of parents since probably April and definitely throughout the summer. So I'm going to address a couple of those. The first one is the concern for a lot of screen time. I will tell you that we are as well concerned about all the screen time. It's our only option right now, unfortunately. So my best advice for that is to balance it out. So yes, throughout your school day, there's gonna be a lot of screen involved. It's the only angle we have right now. So balance it out. So during the school week, if they're on the screen a majority of their school day, balance it out by reducing that screen time outside of those school hours, especially through our Monday through Friday days. Also, just making sure that they're getting a lot of movement outside as much as we can. We're in Ohio, right? So we only have a short window of time before that's about ready to change on us. And then also incorporating some of those mindfulness strategies that they're learning with their teachers in their classrooms in the home setting as well. The next question that I get a lot of is how do we manage a lot of the stressors? So I have not met two families that have the same stressors in their family. Every family is so uniquely different in what they are facing. And how to balance either work or school or feelings and other types of things that they're kind of encountering. So if you looked at the e-Academy format, we had some websites that we offer to you. One of them was about the power of family meetings. Family meetings can be very, very empowering. It's a great time to start that is right here at our age and stage at Normandy. So if you want to reflect back on that link, it leads you through how to formulate that, but it allows your family a time to kind of restore and reflect as individuals and empower your children to have a space that they feel safe to kind of talk about those feelings and thoughts that they're having as a whole, as a family. And the last question I get a lot of is that my child is asking a lot of hard questions, difficult questions that I don't either have the answer to, or I'm not quite sure how I want to address it. And my advice to that is that it's okay to not have an answer. As parents, we feel like we need to have one right away as soon as they ask something. Give yourself the gift of time. It's okay not to have an answer. So I would say address and listen to them and say, that's a great question. Can I get back to you on that? Give yourself some think time. And I always say, stay present. Tell them what you do know. Tell them what we know right now. That's the best we can do. And then if you have other questions about how to answer their questions, call us. We are here to help you walk through that because every child is very different in what information they're able to receive and understand. So I would say those are our top type of questions that we are encountering as of recent. And there's more, we're here to support you. My last is that we do have a virtual counseling office available now to you. So Mrs. Stockfish, who is a school counselor over at Westerly, we have streamlined our services K through 4 into a virtual office that we can use all year, whether we are in person or out. That link to that virtual office will be on the Normandy webpage. It's also listed in the e-Academy for this week as a resource as well. And in that counseling office, you're going to find an abundance of resources to you. All of our mindfulness stuff is in there, parent resources, but there's also a form on there that if you need support from us, it's confidential. You can use that form to let us know that you need something from us and we'll be in contact with you. So I encourage you to explore that or you can join tomorrow morning at 9:30. Mrs. Stockfish and I will be going over our virtual office and leading you through some pieces of that that we think would be really, really helpful for you this school year. And last, I just want to kind of end with an open mind. So I kind of look at this school year as let's give it this opportunity. Let's give it an opportunity to be something incredibly awesome and hope that the surprises we encounter are good ones and lead us to some really, really great things by the end of the school year. So we are here. Do not hesitate to reach out if there's anything that we can do to help you.
All right. Thank you, Mrs. Basil. Appreciate it. And good plug for tomorrow morning. You can tune into Mrs. Basil and Mrs. Stockfish's presentation tomorrow morning at 9:30. It will then be available on our YouTube channel, within an hour or so after they have completed that presentation. So thank you, Mrs. Basil. Thanks for all of your work this summer and all the help that you've given so many families. We really appreciate your work. Let's move on to Mr. Reynolds, I know he was doing a little bit of tech support in another part of the district, literally during this presentation. Mr. Reynolds, are you there?
I am here. Thanks for the introduction, and thanks for having me here today too, Mr. Sebring. And I was a little nervous because it's been a while since I've spoken at an open house. So I'm glad to be talking to some parents again. It's now my 6th year in the district, so it's been a while, but just excited to be back in school with everybody, getting ready. Our teachers have been knocking it out of the park all summer long. I can't tell you how impressive it's been to be the one that got to be the teacher of the teachers this summer. They're working so hard to make sure that they're ready for this new iteration of e-learning. In addition to our usual apps like GG Math and Reading Eggs and AR and things, they're learning how to use some new apps like Screencastify so that students can show and demonstrate their work through video, Ed Puzzles so that they can interact with videos and have some great student engagement that way. But also, to Mrs. Basil's point, one of the things I love about Normandy is the great balance between the screen time and the hands-on time. And I've even seen, as I've previewed some of the teacher lesson plans as they've been putting together their Zoom rooms and their seesaws and classrooms, that they're building in time for mindfulness and stretching and a yoga break and things like that. So, while the screen might be on, it's so that they can participate and see their classmates going that way and not just being a passive learner. So I'm just, really thrilled to be a part of the Bay Normandy team. Can't say enough thanks to Mrs. Carbaugh and Mrs. Holland, who really helped prepare the Chromebooks that are getting passed out with the materials tomorrow, and also help prepare the Chromebooks for the kindergartners that went out last week. If you were a kindergarten student who did not pick up your Chromebook last week, we'll have those available for you tomorrow. And we're excited to try out one-to-one learning on Chromebooks K-12 for the first time. So there'll probably be a couple hiccups, but I'm sure that they'll be handled smoothly with our support team that we have in place for you. So I did want to mention that we do on our Rocket Restart page, which is linked right on the Bay Village website. There's a technology link up there for you. And if you do happen to hit a hiccup, we hope you don't, of course, but in case you have some questions or just a concern that you'd like to address with us, we'll have a support team in there, and you can click on the Family Help Desk link, and then we'll answer those questions for you. But I just wanted to say welcome back to everybody. As I mentioned, I've really enjoyed working with the teachers and the staff all summer long, and we really hope to see the students in class again. That's one of my favorite parts about visiting Normandy, is when I get to come in and talk about a GG lesson or something like that. So really excited to be back. And again, Mr. Sebring, thanks so much for the intro and the opportunity to speak with your parents tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. Appreciate all your work as well. Let's keep moving. I just want to draw attention to the fact that we had almost 150 kindergarten students signed up for our tours that happened earlier today. And I'm trying to think of the right word. It absolutely rejuvenated all of the Normandy teachers. They were thrilled to see kids in the building. And it's been a long, hard week of work for the Normandy teachers. We've been working really hard, and then to have students walking around in the building, touring, seeing classrooms, meeting their kindergarten teachers, it warmed the heart, and it just rejuvenated everybody. So anyways, I just wanted to say that the class of 2033 started their learning adventure here in Bay Village today. And I was able to sneak a quick picture here. So I just wanted to sneak in a quick picture. We kept our distance, but we were excited. And this is just one of 150 other students. And super proud to have been able to meet all of them inside the building. And I thought, it's 2020. I'm hoping that we can have a very fond look back at 2020 at some point. And I thought, what better way to look at this other than to think about your child's graduation year? If your child's in second grade, first grade, or kindergarten, here are the graduation years. Just a reminder, it's with great hope that I'm anticipating we can look back on 2020 and remember how we had to start the school year, and how flexibility was so important, and just all the challenges that are before us that we're embracing right now. I hope we look back on them and just kind of remember that we were able to learn so much more and do so many more new things, but that eventually we were able to get back to everything as usual. So It's just fun to think about your Normandy, your children graduating from high school and how much and how far out that is. So anyways, just something that caused me to think about that and to try to put all of this into a really healthy perspective. So just wanted to say thank you again, Normandy parents. I appreciate it. This presentation will be posted probably within a half hour to an hour back here on our YouTube channel. You can see my email address there. You can also see Mrs. Basil's email address, and that virtual office, her virtual counseling office, will be posted soon. So let's partner together for an exciting year of learning and growth. And to me, the key there is partner. We really look forward to kicking off the year with all of you. And Normandy students, I hope we see you very, very soon. And welcome to the 2020-21 school year. Have a great night. Thank you.